The rain poured endlessly from a dark sky. Lightning flashed across the horizon, lighting up the empty streets of New London. It was late, too late for any child to be outside. But a small girl named Alara walked slowly, holding a blue blanket close to her chest. Her boots splashed through puddles as thunder rumbled above. She was only 6, but brave enough to walk home from her grandmother's house alone. Her mother always told her to take the main road, but tonight, curiosity led her down a narrow alley. The alley smelled like wet metal and smoke. Neon lights flickered from broken signs, painting everything in blue and pink. Then she heard it, a sound so faint she almost missed it. It was a cry, soft and weak, like a baby lost in the cold. Alara stopped, listening carefully. The sound came again, hidden behind a stack of metal crates. Her little hands trembled as she moved closer, her heart beating faster with every step. When she looked behind the crates, she gasped. There was a woman lying on the ground, half covered by a torn gray coat. Her skin shimmered with a strange purple glow under the rain. Her hair was white like snow, and her eyes, large, luminous, and full of pain, looked at Alara. In her arms was a small baby, its body shaking violently from the cold. The woman whispered something Alara didn't understand, a language that sounded like music and sorrow mixed together. But Alara didn't need to understand words. She saw fear and love in that alien's eyes. The alien mother tried to wrap her child tighter, but the fabric was soaked. The baby's small cries grew weaker, like a candle dying in the wind. Alara stepped closer, the blanket in her hands feeling suddenly heavier. Her mind said to run, to go home, to find safety. But her heart said something else, something stronger. She looked at the shivering baby and thought of her own little brother. Without a second thought, she knelt down beside the alien. "Here," Alara said softly, her voice barely louder than the rain. She placed her blue blanket, the one her mother gave her, over the tiny baby. The alien mother stared in silence, her glowing eyes wide with disbelief. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the baby stopped crying. It opened its eyes, bright silver, shining even in the darkness, and made a soft sound. The alien woman smiled weakly, tears mixing with raindrops on her face. She reached out and touched Alara's cheek with trembling fingers. Her skin was warm, pulsing with faint light. Then she whispered something again, a single word that sounded like hope. Alara smiled shyly, not knowing why her eyes felt wet. The rain continued to fall, wrapping them in a soft rhythm of thunder and water. The alien mother held her baby close, covered now by a human child's kindness. And for the first time in her long, hunted journey across the stars, she felt safe. Somewhere high above, hidden satellites recorded the scene. A surveillance drone hovered silently, watching the little girl through its glass eye. Data was sent back to orbit, flagged with a single note. Unexpected human behavior, compassion detected. Far away, on a massive alien ship in deep space, a council of beings watched the live feed. They had studied humanity for centuries, expecting violence, greed, and chaos. But now they saw a small human child kneeling in the rain, saving a creature not of her kind. One of the elders leaned back, his 4 eyes blinking in disbelief. "Perhaps," he murmured, "we were wrong about them." Back on Earth, Alara helped the alien mother stand. She pointed to an old store nearby where they could rest under the roof. The woman nodded weakly and followed, still holding her baby close. Alara didn't know it yet, but this night would be remembered for centuries. Historians would later call it the kindness event, the moment when humanity's true heart was revealed to the stars. As dawn approached, the storm finally faded. Alara walked home quietly, her dress soaked, her blanket gone. But she didn't care. She felt something warm inside, something brighter than any star. And somewhere above, millions of light years away, alien worlds spoke one word for the first time. Humanity, they said, is not what we thought. In the cold silence of orbit, hundreds of satellites turned their lenses toward Earth. They had seen something they were never programmed to understand. A simple act of compassion, a human child saving an alien baby. Within seconds, the footage was transmitted beyond the solar system. And what began as a small moment in a rainy alley would soon ignite conversations across the galaxy. The Galactic Council gathered in the Chamber of Light. 12 races, 12 empires, each bound by politics, pride, and fear of the unknown. For decades they had watched humanity from afar, calling them reckless, emotional, dangerous. They saw humans build weapons that could destroy worlds. But they also saw art, laughter, and sacrifice, and they never understood how such chaos could hold beauty. Now, they were seeing something different, a miracle born from innocence. This was not expected, said High Scholar Vereen, her crystal skin reflecting the council's glow. The child acted without training, without command, another elder added. There was no motive. Perhaps, whispered Lord Cawthursday of the Ilari, motive is not needed for kindness. The chamber fell silent, the air heavy with something ancient, wonder. For the first time, the galaxy questioned its own arrogance. Meanwhile, on Earth, Alara woke up late the next morning. Her mother scolded her gently for staying out during the storm. But as Alara listened, her mind drifted back to the glowing woman and the baby wrapped in her blanket. Had it all been a dream, she wondered, or had she truly met someone from the stars? Outside, the sky was clear, and sunlight danced through the puddles. But unknown to her, strange figures moved in the shadows nearby. Silent men in gray coats collected data from hidden drones, replaying the night's recording on their wrist devices. They didn't understand what they had seen either, but they knew it was not human. That evening, far from the city, the alien mother lay in a small cave near the river. The baby was safe now, wrapped tightly in the blue blanket. Her energy was fading, but her eyes glowed softly as she looked up at the night sky. She whispered to her child in her language, "We are not alone anymore." Her people had fled their dying world years ago, hunted by the Nirax, a ruthless race that conquered planets for profit. She had crashed on Earth seeking refuge, never expecting to find mercy here. But mercy had found her, in the form of a human child with kind eyes. Back in orbit, the Galactic Council voted to send an envoy to Earth. They needed to know if humanity was truly capable of empathy, or if this was a rare accident. A young observer named Orin, from the planet Caliph, was chosen for the mission. He looked human, almost, with pale silver eyes and a calm voice. His task was simple: find the girl, study her behavior, and report the truth. But as his ship entered Earth's atmosphere, he felt something unusual. A pulse, like a heartbeat, echoing from the blue planet below. It was as if the planet itself was alive, whispering, "Watch closely." Alara, unaware of the cosmic attention around her, was helping her mother in the kitchen. She looked at the empty space where her blanket used to hang, feeling both sad and proud. Her mother noticed the look and smiled. "You did something kind, didn't you?" she said softly. Alara only nodded, her eyes drifting toward the sky. "Then maybe the stars are smiling at you tonight," her mother added, laughing gently. Neither of them knew how true that was. That night, Orin's ship cloaked itself above the clouds. He watched the girl through his holographic screen, studying every small movement. When Alara stepped onto her balcony and looked up at the stars, Orin whispered, "So this is the one." He didn't know it yet, but this human child would change not just his mission. She would change him, the council, and perhaps the destiny of every world that had forgotten what kindness meant. Above them, the stars shimmered brighter than usual. And deep in space, a signal spread faster than light. Across thousands of civilizations, one message echoed again and again. A human child saved an alien baby. And with that single line, hope was reborn across the galaxy. The night sky shimmered quietly over New London. Streetlights blinked like small stars below the real ones. The city slept, but above the clouds, something unseen hovered silently. A small silver craft, smooth as glass, drifted through the mist. Inside, the observer Orin adjusted the sensors, his silver eyes reflecting Earth's soft blue glow. He had studied 1,000 worlds, watched empires rise and fall, but never had he been sent to observe a single child. The council's command echoed in his mind. Find the girl, understand the meaning of her act. He found it strange, how one act of compassion could shake galaxies. Still, curiosity pulled him toward Earth's gravity like a magnet. Below, Alara was dreaming. In her dream, she saw the alien mother again, standing in the rain, holding the baby wrapped in her blue blanket. The woman whispered something that sounded like music carried by the wind. Alara reached out, but the image faded, replaced by a blinding light. She woke up gasping, her heart racing, the moonlight spilling through her window. Something felt different, the air heavy, as if someone was near. In the forest behind her house, Oren stepped out of his ship. His boots touched earth soil for the first time. He looked around. The smell of trees, the hum of insects, the softness of wind. It all felt alive in ways he had never imagined. He walked quietly through the tall grass until he saw the small house with yellow curtains. His scanner blinked, marking a life form with unique resonance, Elara. He hesitated, unsure if approaching her was right. He was not supposed to interfere, only observe. But something inside him whispered, kindness deserves to be understood up close. The next morning, Elara went to the park near her home. She liked feeding the pigeons and drawing strange shapes in her little notebook. That day, a tall man sat on the nearby bench, watching the sky instead of the birds. He had silver-gray eyes and an oddly calm smile. When Elara dropped her pencil, he picked it up and handed it to her. "Thank you," she said softly. "You're welcome," Oren replied, his voice gentle but carrying an accent she couldn't place. He looked at her sketches, stars, moons, and a small purple woman holding a baby. "That's beautiful," he said. "Did you see them somewhere?" Elara nodded. "In the rain, last night," she whispered. "They were cold, so I gave them my blanket." Oren stared at her, stunned by her honesty. She didn't speak with pride or fear, just innocence. He realized she didn't even understand the weight of what she had done. "Do you think they're safe now?" he asked quietly. "I hope so," she said. She looked scared, but her baby smiled at me. For the first time in years, Oren felt something warm inside him. Admiration. He had studied humans like distant stars, but this child was different. She wasn't guided by logic or survival, but by something pure, empathy. From the trees nearby, two men in gray coats watched them carefully. Their earpieces buzzed with coded transmissions. "The girl's under surveillance," one whispered, "and now there's an unknown male with her." Their eyes narrowed as they zoomed in, unaware that Oren could hear their thoughts through the static of their minds. He turned his head slightly, his gaze sharp as steel. The men felt a sudden chill, as if their hearts skipped a beat. They stepped back, confused, their equipment flickering with interference. Oren looked back at Elara, forcing a small smile. "It's getting late," he said softly. "You should go home." She nodded, waving goodbye before running off toward the main road. When she was gone, Oren's calm expression faded. He looked up toward the dark clouds, whispering to himself, "They're already watching her." That night, Elara couldn't sleep again. She felt a strange comfort, as if someone unseen was guarding her. Far above, Oren sent his first report to the Galactic Council. He paused before writing the last line, then typed slowly. "Humans are dangerous. Yes, but not because they destroy. They are dangerous because they care." Across the stars, the council members read his words in silence. And for the first time in galactic history, fear gave way to hope. In the heart of one little girl's kindness, the galaxy had found something worth believing in again. The night was quiet, but not peaceful. In the basement of a government facility hidden beneath New London, glowing screens filled a cold, dark room. Agents watched grainy footage from satellite cameras, pausing again and again on one blurry image. A small girl, kneeling in the rain, covering a glowing alien baby with a blue blanket. No one in the room spoke. Only the hum of machines filled the silence. Finally, a voice broke through. "Project Aegis must begin," said Director Hale, a tall man with tired eyes and a scar across his cheek. "We cannot allow alien contact to continue uncontrolled." A second agent nodded. "And the child, sir?" Hale's face hardened. "Observation only. But if contact repeats, we bring her in." Outside, black vehicles rolled silently into the night, their mission clear. Meanwhile, Elara dreamed again. She saw the alien mother smiling at her from a field of stars, whispering words of gratitude. When she woke, the air around her shimmered faintly, like starlight touching her skin. She didn't know it, but the baby she once saved carried a telepathic bond, a living connection between their hearts. Through that bond, across galaxies, energy flowed gently into her dreams. She was becoming something new, something both human and a little beyond. In the nearby forest, Oren crouched behind a large oak tree. His scanners detected movement. 3 armed men approaching from the west. He whispered a command, and his wristband shifted into a silent projection screen. He saw the men wearing dark armor, their helmets reflecting the moonlight. They were human, but their technology was advanced, too advanced for common Earth forces. Orin realized quickly, these were not soldiers, they were hunters. He moved swiftly through the shadows, his steps soundless as air. A low hum followed as he activated his cloaking field, bending light around him. The humans reached Alara's backyard, checking their devices, whispering orders through headsets. She's inside, one said. Reading something, no movement detected. Orin's eyes glowed faintly silver. He could feel their thoughts like ripples in a dark pond. They didn't want to harm the girl, but they feared what she represented, change. Then suddenly, one of the men's detectors beeped. Unidentified energy signature, northeast, he whispered, raising his weapon. Before he could move, a spark of light shot past, short-circuiting his rifle. He stumbled back, shouting, "Contact!" Orin stepped out of the shadows, his cloak flickering off, revealing his calm but deadly gaze. "Leave her alone," he said quietly. The agents froze, stunned by his presence. "You're not human," one whispered. "No," Orin replied, "but I'm learning what humanity means." A flash grenade dropped, smoke filling the garden, but Orin moved faster than sight. With a motion of his hand, the smoke froze midair, like time had paused. He disarmed the men one by one, laying them unconscious gently on the ground. He looked toward the window where Alara stood, watching with wide eyes. She didn't scream, she didn't run. She simply pressed her hand against the glass, her small face filled with trust. Orin raised his hand too, and for a moment, they connected again, human and alien, protector and child. Inside the facility, alarms blared. Director Hale slammed his fist on the desk. "We've lost them," he growled. On the screen, a new signal pulsed, an energy pattern not seen before. "Track that field," he ordered. "I want to know who or what that is." But deep down, Hale felt something he couldn't explain. The look in that alien's eyes wasn't violent. It was protective, even human. Later that night, Alara sat on her bed, still awake. The stars outside her window seemed brighter than before. Her heart felt calm, though she knew the world around her was changing. In her hands, she held a folded note, written not with ink, but with light. It appeared after the smoke faded, glowing softly on her desk. It said only 3 words. "You are hope." Far above, Orin's ship cloaked itself again. He watched Earth rotate below him, thinking of the girl who gave warmth to a dying world. He sent another report to the Galactic Council. "Humanity's kindness is being tested," he wrote. "But even under fear, their light refuses to fade." And in that single transmission, across the stars, billions of hearts began to listen. Morning came quietly, the sky painted in soft gold and silver. The storm from the night before had passed, but the air still carried a strange pulse. In the heart of New London, people moved as usual, unaware that history had already shifted. And inside a small house on the edge of town, a little girl sat by her window, sketching stars. Alara had not slept much. Her dreams were filled with flashes of light, voices speaking in languages she didn't know. Sometimes, she saw the alien baby again, growing older, smiling at her through the mist. And sometimes, she saw Orin standing between 2 worlds, looking torn and uncertain. When she opened her eyes, faint symbols glowed on her palm, the same color as the baby's eyes. She rubbed them, but they didn't fade. Instead, they pulsed softly, like her heart. Outside, Orin watched from the tree line, his ship hidden under holographic disguise. He knew what was happening. The connection between Alara and the alien child was deepening. It was more than a bond. It was resonance, a rare phenomenon where 2 souls shared one thread of energy. If it grew stronger, Alara would begin to feel the baby's emotions, thoughts, and even its pain. He had seen this only once before, and it changed the destiny of an entire planet. In the distance, black vehicles rolled again. Director Hale had decided to act. He stood beside a convoy of armored trucks, staring at the city map glowing on his tablet. "Target's location confirmed," said an agent, "and the alien signature has returned." Hale exhaled slowly. "Move quietly. No harm to the child." She's the key. As the engine started, he whispered something only the wind could hear. God help us if she's more than we understand. Back in the forest, the air rippled like heat on metal. Orin turned sharply, sensing something powerful. A soft light appeared behind him, spreading like a curtain of stars. And through that light stepped a familiar figure, the alien mother, alive. Her silver hair shimmered, her eyes filled with relief and exhaustion. In her arms, the baby stirred, cooing softly under a now larger, glowing blue blanket. Orin bowed slightly. You survived. She smiled faintly. Because of her. They stood in silence as the baby reached out toward the direction of Alera's home. The mother's voice trembled. She saved my child, but now their spirits are linked. If one is harmed, both may fade, Orin said quietly. She has awakened what we once called the heart signal, the mother replied. The gift that binds empathy across life. Orin's eyes widened. That signal was the ancient energy thought lost by her people. It could heal, communicate, and unite species by feeling instead of fear. In that moment, Alera dropped her pencil at home. A wave of warmth spread through her body. She felt happiness that wasn't hers, the baby's joy, the mother's gratitude. She gasped softly, her eyes glowing faint blue for a moment. And then she whispered, You're here. But peace never lasted long. A distant rumble echoed. Human vehicles closing in. Orin's sensors blared red. They found us. The alien mother clutched her baby, panic flashing in her eyes. Orin placed a hand on her shoulder. I'll protect them, he said firmly. He activated a beacon on his wrist, a silent signal to orbit, calling for extraction. The black convoy stopped at the edge of the forest. Soldiers moved in formation, weapons ready, scanning for heat signatures. Director Hale stood at the front, his eyes narrowing as he spotted the faint glow ahead. Contact, he whispered. But before they could advance, a blast of light erupted. Not violent, but pure and blinding. It spread through the forest like sunlight through fog, wrapping trees and men alike. Hale dropped his weapon, stunned. Every soldier froze, not out of fear, but out of peace. They felt warmth, memories, love. They saw their families, their homes, the reasons they once chose to protect rather than destroy. At the center of that light, Alera stood, barefoot on the grass, eyes glowing softly. She had followed her heart and found them. The alien mother fell to her knees, tears streaming, whispering blessings in her tongue. Orin looked at Alera and finally understood. This child wasn't chosen by chance. She was humanity's mirror, the living proof that compassion could rewrite the laws of the galaxy. As the light faded, no one spoke. Even Hale lowered his gaze, realizing something sacred had occurred. Above them, the clouds split open, revealing a beam of silver light descending from the stars. And for the first time, Earth and the heavens looked at each other not as strangers, but as family. The Galactic Council sat in a chamber of endless light, thousands of miles above Earth, on a station orbiting a dying star. The footage of Alera had been replayed countless times, each frame showing her small hands covering the alien baby, her eyes filled with pure empathy. Councils from 12 civilizations whispered among themselves, debating. Some had always feared humanity, calling them reckless, destructive, unpredictable. Yet now, in a single act of kindness, a 6-year-old girl had challenged their assumptions. High Scholar Vereen leaned forward, her crystal skin refracting the chamber lights. This is unprecedented, she said softly. One child, yet the energy signature she created touches all living beings below. Lord Ka Thursday, the elder of the Ilari, shook his head. It is not energy, it is intention made real. It moves across species, across planets, across emotions. One ambassador frowned. How can a human child change the galaxy? Vereen answered simply. By being human. The council fell silent, each member feeling the truth. It was not weapons, politics, or technology that could unite worlds. It was empathy, the simple courage to care for another life. Meanwhile, on Earth, Alera sat by the riverbank with the alien mother and baby. Orin stood silently nearby, observing, but also learning. Alera had returned the baby's blanket to the mother, but she noticed faint glimmers on the baby's skin, small pulses that matched her own heartbeat. It was as if the child recognized her, not just as a friend, but as a protector, a guide. The alien mother whispered in her melodic tone, "You have done more than save life. You have opened the path for understanding between our peoples." Alara tilted her head, puzzled, but the warmth in her chest told her she had done something right. But peace was fragile. Director Hale's agents had regrouped after the forest incident. They monitored the area with drones, their instruments detecting unusual energy signatures. One agent said, "The child's heart rate matches the aliens. There is a connection. We cannot predict what will happen if it grows stronger." Hale nodded. "Proceed with caution. We cannot risk destruction. Yet this child may be the key to understanding them." Unknown to them, Orin had already encrypted a shield over the girl, hiding her presence from surveillance. He whispered softly, "No one will harm her. She is the bridge, not the battlefield." That night, the sky lit up with faint silver threads. The baby's eyes glowed softly as it cooed, sensing the presence of countless beings watching from afar. Alara reached out instinctively, and for a moment, she felt the thoughts and emotions of millions of creatures. It was overwhelming, yet beautiful. She laughed softly, tears in her eyes. "I can feel them. They're not all bad." Orin nodded, impressed by her bravery. "She is ready," he said quietly. "The Council will see the truth through her." Back in orbit, the Council debated what action to take. Do we contact Earth now, or let the human child guide us? Varine's voice rang clear. "Let her guide us. She has shown what our instruments cannot measure. Empathy, courage, and hope are stronger than any weapon." The decision was unanimous. A delegation would descend, but only after Alara initiated the first true contact. She had earned their trust through a simple act of kindness. The galaxy waited, holding its breath. Alara slept that night under a blanket gifted by the alien mother, her small hands resting on the baby. In dreams, she saw stars singing, planets moving in harmony. She didn't understand it fully, but she knew she had a purpose. And somewhere, above the clouds, Orin watched silently, protecting her, guiding her, preparing for the day when humanity would meet the stars, when a single girl's kindness would change everything forever. And on that quiet night, the heartbeat of the galaxy pulsed once more. Soft, steady, full of hope. For the first time, humans were seen not as destroyers, but as light-bringers. And it all began with a small blue blanket in the hands of a 6-year-old girl. The morning sky over New London glowed soft pink and gold. Birds chirped, unaware that above them, eyes from another world watched silently. Orin's ship hovered cloaked high in the clouds, its sensors scanning every movement below. He had transmitted a coded signal to the Galactic Council. It was time. The delegation would descend, but only after the child confirmed her willingness. Alara, unaware of the cosmic attention, walked with the alien mother and the baby toward the river. Her small hand brushed the water, ripples spreading, reflecting a silver glow. The alien mother spoke softly. "They are coming. The Council will judge humans not by war, but by kindness." Alara tilted her head. "Will they be angry with us?" "No," the mother replied. "They will see what you already know. Empathy is stronger than fear." The baby cooed, its tiny hand reaching toward her chest. And in that moment, Alara felt a warmth spreading inside her. A heartbeat shared between human and alien, a resonance that connected their souls. Far above, the Council ships emerged from the darkness, sleek and shining. Each vessel hovered silently, sending beams of calm energy down to the forest and city. Orin lowered his shield slightly, allowing the light to touch the girl. She felt it as a gentle embrace, not a threat. Her eyes widened as the largest ship landed, casting a silver shadow over the river. From it descended beings of every shape and size, luminous eyes, smooth skin, and tall figures. Yet each moved with reverence, approaching cautiously, not as conquerors, but as observers. Director Hale's team arrived moments later, cautiously moving forward. They saw the girl standing firm, the alien mother beside her. Orin stepped between them, his calm eyes meeting Hale's. "Do not harm her," he said quietly. "She is the bridge, not the battlefield." Hale hesitated, sensing the strange energy flowing from the child. He lowered his weapon, unsure of what he was witnessing. The Council's delegates knelt slightly, signaling peace. And in that gesture, the tension of centuries of fear dissolved. Alara stepped forward, her small voice strong. "I helped because it was right," she said simply. The alien baby gurgled, reaching toward her again. One of the council elders, a shimmering figure of gold light, spoke softly. "You have shown the galaxy something humans could never measure with weapons or words. Your courage and kindness are the proof of what we hoped existed." Alara blinked, unsure what to say. She only held out her hands to the baby, letting it feel her warmth. The alien mother smiled, tears glimmering on her cheeks. "You have done more than save my child. You have saved the hearts of many. Humanity has hope again." Orin nodded, watching, proud yet humble. The council had begun transmissions to distant planets, reporting what one human child had accomplished, bridging worlds, touching hearts, and reminding all species that compassion could overcome fear. Director Hale finally spoke, his voice quiet. "Perhaps we were wrong." Even his agents felt it, the impossible weight of kindness stronger than authority. And as Alara looked up at the ships and the stars beyond, she realized something she had not understood before. One small act could echo across worlds. One heart could spark hope in a universe of shadows. She had given her blanket to a shivering baby, and in return, she had given the galaxy a reason to believe in humanity. The sun rose higher, scattering silver light across the river. Orin touched Alara's shoulder gently. "You are the bridge," he whispered. The alien mother held her baby close, looking at the girl with awe. Above, the council vessels lifted slightly, signaling departure. But their gaze remained, watching, learning, feeling. And somewhere, across countless stars and planets, the story of a human child and a glowing alien baby spread, reminding all beings that even in the darkest corners of the galaxy, a single spark of kindness could light the universe. And in that moment, humanity was no longer just a species of Earth. It had become a beacon among the stars.